I'd like to call to order this meeting of the First Five Sacramento Commission for Monday, December 1st, 2025. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll and establish a quorum?
Yes, sir. Chair Serna.
Here.
Commissioner Wesley.
Here.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner Gordon.
Here.
Commissioner Casirier.
Here.
Commissioner Katari. Not here. Commissioner Moak.
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Kennedy. Not here. Commissioner Hassett.
Here.
Commissioner Williams is out today. Commissioner Evans, I'm sorry. Here. Commissioner Guerra.
Here.
Commissioner Boston.
Here.
And Commissioner Kravitz-Wertz.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Very good. If you could please read our statement.
This meeting of the First Five Sacramento Commission is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV UVerse cable systems. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Wednesday, December 3rd at 1 p.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/metrocable14.
Great, thank you. If you would please rise and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Those words. You really break
All
it
right.
down.
I would again like to welcome everyone to this afternoon's First Five Commission meeting. And as a friendly reminder, if you choose to address the commission, we certainly welcome that. We ask that you please complete a speaker slip and get it to our clerk, and your name will be called in the order that I received those slips. We ask that you please keep your comments to 2 minutes. That way everyone who wishes to address the commission has that opportunity to do so. And with that, our first item.
Item number 1 is the approval of October 6, 2025 draft action summary.
All right, very good. Any member of the commission wish to make any suggested changes? If not, entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this matter?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, very good. Are we doing roll call vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
And Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is the public's opportunity to address any item that's not on our posted agenda. We can certainly take that testimony. We cannot have any lengthy discussion about it per the Brown Act, but this is your opportunity to address items not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this matter?
I believe I handed you a speaker slip. I think it's for
Oh,
this
was
item.
that? You are right. Crystal.
Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, everyone. I'm Crystal Harding. District 3 Supervisor Desmond is my supervisor. And I'm just here to brag about SAC PLTI. You know, hey, y'all. We have been super active. The team met before Thanksgiving break to plan and prepare. Our cohort begins January 10th, and our retreat is that day, and we were getting all of our materials ready. I want to encourage everyone to check us out on social media, on Instagram and Facebook at Sacramento PLTI, and apply. If you know anyone, if you know a friend, neighbor, anyone at all that's interested in being the parent leaders that they are and serving in that capacity, please check out sacramentoplti.com. We had our Soul Family Ball on October 26th. It was a great time. We had families dressing up in all of their good clothes and having a good time. Food, drinks, and all that. 1 minute, okay. And I am excited about our social media this year. I've been working actively to engage and connect and share and amplify all of the things that we're doing. So if you have seen our videos or our stories, make sure you engage, like, follow, and share. And again, spread the word that PLTI is recruiting English and Spanish language cohort parent leaders, and we are starting in January. So thank you for your support, and I look forward to sharing more information with you next time. Peace out.
Great. Thank you, Crystal. Good to see you. All right. Any other members of the public wish to address us on items not on the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay, next item, please.
Item number 3 is the Executive Director's Report.
All right.
Great. Nice to see you all this afternoon. We started talking morning, and I have to move to afternoon as well. Have a couple of highlights from the packet today. First is our racial equity updates. We have been working with the Equity in Action Committee, meeting quite frequently. And as you know, we had our letters of interest went out. We had over 400 responses come in for funding, and the committee reviewed every single one of those letters, scored them, and invited about, I want to say 70 or so to apply for actual funding. We have 3 different categories. So one category is just the one-time funding, and then 2 different tiers for larger dollars. So of those $62 million requests, we have actually $4.2 million to distribute, and the committee will be meeting December 13th to make their final decisions about which will come forward to you all in January for approval. So it's a very exciting time. We had 61 entities were invited to apply. And again, those were things from individual family needs and concrete supports to group presentations and activities and community building, systems improvement, and Crystal will be happy to know parent leadership and parent engagement. So those 4 things were the topics. I wanted to just briefly touch on the CalFresh benefits disruption. I know a lot of our families were impacted by this. Even though it was a short period of time, there was a lot of anxiety in community about this. And everything is back up and running now. And I didn't know if commissioners knew the extent of that. It's 270,000 individuals here, 90,000 children impacted. Or served by CalFresh in Sacramento County. And our Health and Human Services Agency, really our leadership, Shelby, Commissioner Boston, and Ethan Dye from DHA, just really stepping in, as well as our partners on the ground. I mean, it was incredible. The Family Resource Centers, our Child Action, really jumping in to help connect families. One of our advisory committee members, Darcy Varnadoe, is with HealthNet, and after our advisory committee meeting, he went to HealthNet leadership and asked them to make a contribution. They ended up donating $30,000 to our local food banks, 6 different food banks in Sacramento, to make sure that families were going to be served. So it's a really great effort, and we are apparently safe until September 2026, and then we'll see what happens then. I know you guys know that he's a superstar, but we don't often get to talk too much about how amazing Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia is, so he's going to get a little bit of props twice in this ED report. I just wanted you all to know that he was honored with the Council on Community Pediatrics Local Hero Award through the American Academy of Pediatrics, which is pretty big stuff, actually. And he's the first UC Davis Health pediatrician to ever get this award, which is amazing. And it recognizes pediatrician champions in very grassroots, community-oriented, helping kids and families thrive in their local neighborhoods and communities. So just a special props to Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia. Thank you for all that work. And I don't know if you got it for this in particular, but there are so many things he's been working with us on. And one of them is to change the the system at the Sacramento County Health Center, where every family that comes through with a young child, now in their after visit form, they get a connection, they get a referral to the FRC in their neighborhood, which is so cool, and a connection to Sac Family Connect so that they can get additional resources. So just taking that first five hat, he's like always wearing the first five hat and changing policies and practices at work to make it be better for families. So thank you. Crystal talked a little bit about PLTI, but I wanted to add two things to what she brought up. One is that our partners at Sac Children's Home have created a PLTI alumni chapter. So as you may know, we have 75 parent leaders who have graduated over the last couple of years, and all of those parent leaders have been invited to join the alumni, where they can continue to work on their projects and get workforce development and just build themselves to do even more great work in community. I guess she did mention that we are recruiting right now for the 2026 January cohort, so please send folks our way. I'm going to skip a couple of things. I did want to mention that we will be bringing to you in the new year a request to go out to bid for a new data management system. We've had Persimmon now for about 15 years, and frankly, I feel like we've outgrown it a little bit. It's not able to make the adjustments that we need right now, and lots of stuff changes in 15 years, so I feel like we need possibly bigger and better. They've been great partners in the past, but it's just time to see what else is out there. So we're doing a little work right now up on the front end to see what things might cost as far as initial setup and then ongoing, as well as sort of what the functionality is around security, because that is one of the things we're especially concerned about right now. And that we haven't been able to get the support we need from out of Persimmon. So wanted to share that. I'll jump to Potter the Otter exhibit at the Sacramento Children's Museum. We're down to our last couple of months here. There's 2 additional free days. One of them is tomorrow, and the other is January 15th. We've already had 1,000 children come through on the 3 free days that we did so far this year. So it's been an amazing turnout, a wonderful partnership. Can't say enough good. I wish it was there permanently, but it really did establish a partnership with the Sac Children's Museum that I hope we're able to continue as they might focus on additional exhibits that we could get in on later. And then I'll just end it with a staffing update. I was hoping that Sharon Watts could stand up so you could all see our newest staff member. Hello, thank you, Sharon. She is filling a position that we recently created called a Human Services Program Specialist position, and she's going to assist all of the planners in the work that we do. We've never sort of had like an in-between person. We've had the opportunity to restructure the commission's program side when Latina Price retired. And so this is part of our restructure. She's been amazing in her 2 weeks on already, and she previously served as a policy fellow with the Coro Northern California, and she's also a certified doula, so we love all of that. She brings a lot of energy and passion for the work with her. And that concludes my director's report.
Great, thank you. Any questions for our executive director? All right, seeing none. Madam Clerk, is there any member of the public that would like to address the commission on the executive director's report?
No, sir.
All right, very good. Thank you again, Julie. Next item, please.
Item number 4 is the advisory committee update from October 10th, 2025.
And it's a quick one. We did not actually end up meeting in October, and so we have our next scheduled meeting is February 13th.
Very good. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 5, Evaluation Committee update, November 17th, 2025.
Yes, the Evaluation Committee met on November 17th. Commission staff presented the report to First 5 California, which we provide every year, which will be presented shortly to the Commission today. The Commission also engaged in a discussion regarding, as Julie mentioned, additional database needs raised by contractors. Things have changed in 15 years. Commission staff informed the committee that a letter of interest for a new data system will be issued in early 2026, followed by a request for qualifications in late winter. And I think all of us felt that this was very wise to get after right now. The committee will meet again on January 26th, 2026.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Gordon. All right, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak either on the advisory non-report or the evaluation report?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, very good. Next item, please.
Item number 6, Financial Planning Committee update, November 13th, 2025.
Thank you. The Financial Planning Committee met on November 13th. Staff provided an update on current staffing vacancies, and the previously vacant Administrative Service Officer 1 and Human Services Program Specialist positions have been successfully filled. Recruitment efforts are now underway to fill the remaining Senior Office Assistant vacancy. And with these updates, First 5 Sacramento's current vacancy rate is 7.1%. The fiscal year 2024-25 audit was issued on October 30th. The committee reviewed the report and, as required each year, voted to approve the audit. There were no findings. Very nice. And the audit is on today's agenda for public hearing and final commission approval. Staff provided an overview of the additional oversight measures being implemented for the new equity and action contracts, which carry a higher level of risk given that many partners are new to both First 5 and to county contracting. To ensure strong fiscal accountability and set these emerging CBOs up for success, staff outlined several proactive safeguards, including flexible insurance pathways, dedicated contract funds for independent audits and financial administration needs, allowing an indirect rate of up to 15%, requiring detailed fiscal risk assessments, and exploring the use of a fiscal agent to provide additional financial oversight and support. Staff also presented a request to increase the advance payment thresholds up to 25% for standard contracts and for up to 50% for equity and action contracts. And that's to help smaller organizations manage their cash flow as they launch services. The committee reviewed and approved the revised advance payment policy, and it is item number 10 today on the Commission's agenda. Lastly, Commission financial statements for the first quarter were reviewed and in line with budget expectations. And this concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you. Madam Clerk, anyone signed up to speak on the Financial Planning Committee update?
No, sir.
Okay. Next item, please.
Item number 7, Systems Optimization and Sustainability Committee update, October 22nd, 2025.
Hi, everyone. Okay, we met on October 22nd. It was a very in-depth meeting. One of our agenda items was the policy and advocacy. There were a number of state bills that passed impacting the early care and education workforce, including some immigration bills, and so we talked about that in depth. We also had our Equity and Action Ready grant discussion, which a lot of what you already heard today was discussed. And then I also want to note that we talked about the SNAP impacts that day. And I'm talking, our hearts were heavy, but we also were strategic. And a lot of us were trying to figure out what could we do that day, how could we support, from FRCs to where can we donate. So anyway, a lot happened that day, and you can see the impact of what happened. So that was an amazing day, actually, of just being a part of First 5 Sacramento. I was very proud. We also had 2 representatives from SCOE, and we had an in-depth conversation around Help Me Grow and around mental health supports in schools and childcare centers. And that concludes our report, other than we have a meeting on December 17th. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on the SOS report?
No, sir.
All right, very good. Next item, please.
Item number 8 is a public hearing, a review, and adoption of the fiscal year 24-25 financial audit.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. The fiscal year 24-25 audit was issued on October 30th, and it was submitted to the state and First 5 California on the same day. It was completed by the auditing firm Macias, Genie & O'Connell, LLP, better known as MGO. MGO tested 24 procedures for commission compliance with state laws and regulations, and all were in compliance. Today, we have Russell Robertson, Assurance Director at MGO, who will provide a brief summary of the report. Before I hand it over to Russ, I would like to thank and acknowledge Joe Fasula and Eli Misker, who are here today with us. They are our partners at the Sacramento County Department of Finance, who assist us with the audit, and I'd like to thank them for their time, commitment, and expertise. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, thanks. My name is Russell Robertson. I want to thank the board for allowing me to share a few items in the report that was mentioned. Actually, I believe there are 2 reports that you received. One is the internal audit report itself, and then a report to the board. I will start with the bigger one. It's the one probably we're all here for. And in there we have several items. We have our opinion coming from the auditor itself. We have the financial statements and the notes, and some supplementary information in the back. But I wanted to share that, yes, they're on top of not having any findings that was shared before, we were able to issue an unqualified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that we could provide, meaning that the financial statements are fairly presented in all respects to our accounting standards. Overall, there's not much change. I do want to highlight a couple things that you may notice in the financial statements themselves. But as I indicate, where I like to focus in is on the management discussion analysis in the report. That gives a high-level summary of what happened during the year. And it's highlighted, I think it's on the first bullet on one of the pages there is, there was a slight decrease in the net assets and some revenue, slight downtick from the previous year. And that's because there was some change in the Prop 10 revenue that came in. And that was expected, while the first 5 was still trying to maintain the level of expenditures to administer the program level with the commitment on the strategic plan. That was expected that some of the cash would actually decrease during the year because of that. But overall, pretty straightforward, pretty much the same activity as in the prior year, nothing too crazy to report on there. All within budget expectations that we do review as well, and no significant discrepancies in there. Actually, no discrepancies. Everything was at that level. The second report is the report to the Board of Commissions. Before I get into that one, the one big significant change that is highlighted this year is there was an adoption and an accounting pronouncement that a GASB accounting process that they have to adopt this year was regarding compensated absences. In the past, you did report on vacation balances and whatnot, but this year, because the new GASB 101, you have to now incorporate sick leave balances, any payout of sick leave. So they had to change their accounting approach on that. And for this year, there was a restatement, a minor restatement on material, about $190,000. You'll see in the financial statements from the prior year, just because there's not a material amount of the sick leave that's converted into a liability. But because of that standard, it's just more transparency on what liabilities do actually exist in these governmental entity. The last board report to the board, there's several items that as auditors we are required to communicate with the board. Some of the big ones are any disagreements with management, and across the board on all these I'm going to mention, we didn't have any. So again, it was a pleasure to work with management and the Department of Finance on this, but no disagreements. The commission didn't use any outside consultants. We were the main consultant, the main auditor. No other adjustments, material adjustments that were required. We list in that report any significant estimates that are used in this report. So you'll see a myriad of things in there that we communicate directly with you. But overall, a very successful audit again, as usual. Nothing that came up to be concerned with, and nothing really to report as far as any kind of adjustments, major adjustments, or any kind of findings, of course. So, but with that, I'll open it up with any questions regarding that.
Any questions? Nope, see none. I think it's always a case, no news is good news, so appreciate it.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does that conclude then the staff report? Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to address the board on this?
No, sir, we do not.
I will, as a formality, open the public hearing, close the public hearing. The record will note we don't have any members of the public sign up to address this matter, and then therefore we will go on to the next item.
Okay, item number 9, another public hearing. Review and adoption of the fiscal year 24-25 annual report.
Chair Cerner, we do usually do a vote to adopt it. Even we can't make any changes to it,
Correct,
but we
I'm sorry.
typically do vote to adopt it.
That's right. Okay, very
My
good.
bad.
Move adoption?
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Thank
And again,
you.
this is for the record, this is on item 8,
Eight,
the
yes.
adoption of the fiscal year 24-25 financial audit.
Okay, perfect. Chair Cerna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you all. Motion passes.
Very good, thank you. Now we'll go on to the next item.
Okay, next item, number 9, public hearing, review and adoption of the fiscal year 24-25 annual report.
For this one, we are joined by Carmen Garcia Gomez, who is our evaluation manager.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today, I'm going to present to you the First 5 Sacramento annual report that was submitted to First 5 California in November. Every year, the Children and Families Act requires that the California's 58 county commissions submit a report by November 1st. We actually submitted our report just that first week of November. We had a delay because of the audit. The audit and the annual report are one unit, and they need to go together, be reported together to First 5 California. The reporting forms, there are 3 reporting forms for First 5 California, the AR1, AR2, and AR3. The AR1 is the fiscal part of it. The AR2 is the demographic portion of it, which ties the numbers served with the programs and the expenditures. And AR3 are the evaluation findings and any other county highlights that we want to provide to First 5 California. This is a collaborative effort of commission staff, Applied Survey Research, which are our evaluation consultants, and Persimmon International, Inc., which is the data system that we use to collect and store data. You have the attachment in your packet. AR1 is section 1, which identifies the revenue details, expenditures, and our fund balance. Our expenditures for fiscal year 24-25 totaled $19.2 million, which was a reduction of about 10%. The result of that reduction is that this fiscal year we did not launch the equity and action contracts, which will be funded this year. So next fiscal year you will see that applied in the annual report. The fiscal year ended with a fund balance of $17.1 million. Section 2 is the county demographic worksheet. In fiscal year 24-25, our contractors provided services to 14,171 parents, children, and providers. That was also a reduction of 34%. Again, the same reason, because some of our contracts were not launched during 24-25, the first year of the implementation plan and strategic plan. But we will be implementing those programs this year. So next year you will see some increases in those numbers. The commission is also pivoting to systems improvement strategies. So we won't see the numbers that were served previously because we are doing more systems improvement work. You'll see there in the two tables provided the percentages of ethnicity of parents and children and the primary languages spoken. AR3, which is the county evaluation summary, we highlighted the findings of the previous year, 23-24, and we also highlighted the profile of the launch of the Equity in Action Initiative, which is included in First Five California's actual report that goes to the 58 commissions, and other commissions will get an opportunity to see what we did with Equity in Action during 24-25. And that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for staff? All right, very good. This is a public hearing item, so I'll open the public hearing. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this matter?
No, sir, we do not.
We'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Move the item.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Cerna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you all. Motion passes.
Very good, thank you. Next item.
Next item, approval of revised advance payment policy to contractors.
Good afternoon again, Commissioners. Today, staff are requesting approval of a revised policy on advance payments to contractors. The Commission first established an advance payment policy back in 2001 to help contractors manage cash flow during program startup and implementation. And since that time, it has been revised and updated several times. Under the current policy, the executive director may authorize an advance payment of up to 20% of a contractor's annual allocation. The revised policy before you today updates that limit to reflect changes recently made at the county level. To stay consistent with those county standards and to continue supporting our contractors, staff are recommending that First Five Sacramento's advance threshold be increased from 20% to 25% of their contract's annual allocation. In addition, the revised policy includes a special provision for our new Equity in Action contracts. As you know, the EIA initiative is focused on building the capacity of smaller community-based organizations that may not have prior experience contracting with the county. To help set them up for success, the revised policy allows the executive director to authorize advance payments of up to 50% of their annual allocation. This small but important change provides greater, wrong page of notes. This additional flexibility of up to 50% ensures that these organizations have the resources they need to launch activities on time, cover early program expenses, and to build internal systems that support long-term sustainability. Of course, higher advance payments will come with enhanced monitoring and support to safeguard First Five's financial integrity while still meeting the needs and intent of the Equity in Action initiative. While this policy provides important flexibility and support, staff recognize that advance payments do carry some financial risk for the Commission and will continue to carefully review each request, assess fiscal capacity, and closely monitor repayment schedules to ensure accountability and timely recovery of funds. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you very much. Commissioner Hassett.
I just wanted to mention that we talked at length about this, and were very clear that people have to make a case for why they need the funds in advance, and recognizing that with reimbursement type grants, it can be a huge burden, especially on a smaller organization. Even though I was impressed with how fast our reimbursement process is compared to like the state, I won't say the county, but we felt like it was really important for some of these smaller groups to have that opportunity.
All right, thank you. Any other questions of staff? All right.
I have a question, actually.
Yes, please.
So when the grants come in, or when the application is put in, are they applying at that time planning for an advance when they're planning the way that they're going to approach the service that they're applying for?
I don't even think that they know that they would get a 50% advance, that they could request that
Right.
even, since those applications are already being submitted now. So I think that we would do that during the contract negotiation phase with them and find out like what are their needs, what specific, is it they need to hire staff and get them trained and onboarded, and so this would help offset some of those costs coming in. So no, I don't think they're operating under the assumption that that's going to happen yet, but during contract negotiations.
Okay. Thank you.
And I did want to also point out, Kristen did a great job revamping the policy, which is in your packet, and it really does describe how the payments would be repaid, how the advance would be repaid on a monthly basis as part of their invoicing for the next month's payment. Part of that invoice then withholds funding to help reimburse the advancement that they received. So by the time they get to the end of that first year, they should be even, Steven. There shouldn't be any outlying dollars. And if they still felt that they needed an advance for year 2, then they could put in a request for an advance for up to 50%, and we would assess that at that time too. Yes.
All right, very good. Any other questions for staff? All right, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, very good. Then in that case, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Been moved. Chair will second. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Cerna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you all. Motion passes.
All right, very good. Next item, please.
Item number 11, nominate and appoint 2026 vice chair.
Great. So this is something we do every year at our last meeting of the year to fill this vacancy for the next calendar year. So we have had Commissioner Hassett as our vice chair since I started, for at least a decade. But I did hear this year that we also had interest from Commissioner Guerra. So we have at least 2 folks who are interested potentially in this. And then, of course, the floor is open for anybody who would like to nominate themselves or someone else to the position.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Hassett.
I'll nominate Commissioner Guerra.
All right.
I'll second that in a second.
All right, there's a nomination and a second.
Can we make comment?
Please, please.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I would, I mean, it joys me to no end that Eric Guerra has joined this dais up here and as part of what we've been doing with First Five since the late 90s, when he was in 3rd grade, I think. So that's, depending on how this goes, that's super exciting. However, I would want to thank Beth for being the consummate professional, involved in so many parts of First Five, sitting second chair to you.
She's not going anywhere.
I know. But I do want to honor and celebrate what she has meant and the fact that she has been so consistent with her leadership and secondary leadership to you. So I just don't want that to go unnoticed. And having Beth part of this group also has legitimized, I feel like, First Five in the community, especially in the realm that she works in, which is obviously critically important to our families and kids in this region. But so I just would want to say thanks to Beth for sure.
Very good words. I couldn't have said them better myself, although I will add that as chair, and I think a handful of times over the last 15 years, there have been times where I needed to make sure that in my absence, things are going to run probably even smoother than if I were here. And Beth has been very capable and engaging and inviting to our public who wishes to join us on occasion and provide critical testimony. So I too want to add to Commissioner Moak's thanks and acknowledgement of a job very well done, and we appreciate your presence and your leadership on this commission very much.
Thanks.
Okay. We don't have anyone signed up to speak on this, right?
No, we do not.
Okay, so we have a nomination and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Charna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you. Motion passes.
very good. Commissioner Guerra.
Well, thank you. I also wanted to thank Beth, and I've had an opportunity to work with her in so many other capacities, and just her consistent commitment to the well-being of our county, and also our young people, and excited about trying to fill those big shoes as well. And I didn't want to say this earlier, but I'm excited about more of this work. My kid got a chance to go see Potter the Otter, and was my little one, and he was super excited. So if that's the part of the work here, then this is going to be a great experience as well. So
Very good. Thank you very much. All right, our last item of the afternoon is commission member comments. Any comments from my colleagues? Yes, Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I just had a couple of quick comments. First of all, I just wanted to let the commission know that the federal government actions in terms of immigrants are landing on our agency as well. And I've made it a mission of sorts to make this public wherever I go, just so that people know that this is hitting us everywhere, obviously with families and individuals. Last Friday, the 28th of November, one of our staff members was picked up in the morning as she left home by ICE, and she was fortunately able to make a phone call, and she called her supervisor at SCOE to let her know that she'd been picked up. I sent my chief counsel immediately down to the ICE office on Capitol Mall, and she arrived a little before noon, trying to find out the whereabouts of our employee, to which she was told it was lunchtime. And come back at 1:30, please, which she did. And she was carrying all of the papers that certified to our agency that this person was legally able to work in California. Made no difference. She'd been taken away to wherever they house people for the time being in Sacramento. She now has an immigration lawyer who has filed a writ to release her. But none of us has heard in all the time since Friday the 28th of November, even where she is. She's an immigrant from Russia, has been in this country over 20 years, has worked for us very successfully for over 8 years. And this goes on, and I check every day. My chief counsel checks every day. They only will talk to either her husband or her attorney. But so far, none of us has any idea where she is or what her status is. So I only raise this to make sure that people know that this is going on all over the country. And they came for her. But I come from a large Jewish family, many of whom were impacted by the Holocaust. And it's been burned into me that they can come for you. Mm-hmm. So I just want to keep this. I just want to keep this out there. So I don't mean to. Secondly, though, on a much higher note, I did want to, especially in the holiday time, give a huge shout out to Sacramento County, from the leadership of our supervisors on down, the things that we have been able to do at SCOE and in the education system because of the partnership that we have are extraordinary. We now have 60 mental health clinicians posted in our schools. We have an amazing relationship with child services when we're working on foster youth and homeless youth. Dr. K, sitting right here, has been extraordinary in helping guide our work. And I don't know of another county where the relationship is as strong and enables us to do as much. So a big thank you from every single one of us at SCOE, and of course the wonderful First Five work that's also done. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. And I appreciate you taking the opportunity at the conclusion of today's commission meeting to draw attention to the real life consequences of the disposition of this administration relative to our immigrant population. And both Councilmember Guerra and myself have both visited the very intake space at the Moss Federal Building, just a few blocks away, for ourselves with our Congresswoman Doris Matsui. And even with the presence of a sitting member of Congress, we were not given any direct visual confirmation of the conditions or even the place within the building where folks are being detained. And so I think it's incumbent upon all of us, quite frankly, to take every opportunity we can, assuming we feel and empathize the way I think we do with what has just been explained to us, to use those opportunities to just underscore for everyone in whatever public venue, whether it's on television or in a public meeting or at the dinner table, just what it means to have this happen in our country. And I think for many of us, we never thought it would ever get near this state that we find ourselves in. But nonetheless, we are grappling with some very trying times as it relates to making sure that our immigrant population is protected and has due process available to them, just like any other person in this country. So I appreciate you bringing that to light, Dave. That means a lot. Councilmember Guerra.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. And one, I wanted to thank Board Member Gordon and also yourself for highlighting this. Also to thank you specifically for the effort of recruiting and enlisting funds for legal services. And at the moment, we do have the SAC Fuel Network. So if any of our clients, any of our families that are from First Five are looking for assistance, they can go to sacfuelnetwork.org for that resource. But I do want to thank Chair Cerna again for helping establish the Joe Cerna Jr. Immigration Defense Fund to be able to fund the legal aid and legal services because some families aren't even aware that they can access any legal support. And so if any of our First Five families find themselves in that situation, Again, go to sacfuelnetwork.org, and this is something we hope that we can continue to support and guide people through this very terrible time.
Great. Good words. Thank you. Commissioner Wesley.
Yeah, I wanted to share along the same lines, and thank you for sharing, Commissioner Gordon. There is First Five California did just launch the Children First campaign, and there's $10 million available around immigration, and I believe they're setting aside 30% just to focus on local efforts that already exist. So there may be some additional funds that we might want to consider here. For First Five Sacramento, I was able to go to the state capitol and a part of their launch about a week ago. So maybe it's being launched December, any day now. So we can look for that, possibly to blend with whatever we already have. So again, it's called Children First, and it's through First Five California. And it's a pot of money. It's $10 million. It's not a lot, but they are looking at local efforts that already exist, so we can apply for that potentially.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Any other comments from commissioners? Don't see any. So again, I want to thank staff for all your contribution and preparation for today. Thank the clerk. Thank our county council who's with us. I want to thank my colleagues. This is our final meeting for 2025, and it's been another year of great work, and we're all very fortunate to have, especially the professional staff that we have at First Five Sacramento doing what they do. So we'll end on that positive note. If there's no further business before this commission, we stand adjourned.
Thank you.